Hello and welcome back to Shenzhen IO. Today we are working on Security Nightmare. Carl says, remember Sleep Cubes? The capsule hotel company we did a little game console for? They're back. And this time they're asking for a lock that's based off a national ID card. Loads of privacy concerns here, not to mention the fact that a trivially clonable master key opens any lock. But a job's a job, as they say. At least I think that's what they say. Joe says, I haven't seen Joe for a long time. He says, I've stayed at Sleep Cube a few times. They're not too shabby. Got thrown out of a club or something? I was researching our customer. Actually using the product or service is a great way to familiarize yourself with the company. It's a natural part of any healthy corporate partnership. You've really changed, Joe. Bang. Security Nightmare. What do we got? Card reader is an X-bus input connected to an RFID card reader. Learn is a simple input connected to a button outside the room. Unlock is a simple output connected to an electronic strike plate. The door is first unlocked by the hotel staff using a special card. The user then can reprogram their lock by holding the Learn button and scheduling their card. When the user scans their card again after reprogramming, the door should be unlocked. Any card other than the user cards or a hotel cab card could not unlock the door. To unlock the door, the unlock signal should be held high for 6 time units. That sounds scary, but I think we're okay. So I hope we're okay. Shit. I'm a little bit frightened, actually. So, what I'm thinking is, we need probably 3 of these things. No. Maybe 2 of them. The master key is my fear. I'm a little concerned about the master key. Alright, let's bring this guy in here. Still wish I knew what this was all about. Let's start with this. Okay, so I can't really this isn't non-blocking, which is weird. So you need to... Okay, no, I think this is fine. You're gonna select so. Once it wakes up, move, no, don't do that yet. Test if PO is equal to 100. Alright, let's just do that for right now. Because I'm just curious. Okay. So that 9, yeah, that 9 is going to sit there and wait. Okay, that's good. Test if PO is equal to 100. If it is, move XO to X1. You should be one of these chips. And how 3, 6, these are 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be the master key. Okay, so we're gonna move let's save ourselves some space here. So let's we will call this read, and then we will move 10 to the accumulator, call that read. Sub 1. Shit. I think these pluses are going to cause a problem. If no, jump down. Otherwise, do this. And then we'll just put it down here somewhere. Down. And see where that gets us. Alright. So you're going to move 10 in. You're going to start the value there. Test if the ACC is equal to 0. If no, jump read. If yes, move 0 to X2. And that's going to be just to reset that guy. Okay. So once we're down, so the button is not being pressed. Okay. Maybe I want to jump sleep instead. Because I could just put this guy back to sleep. Because the 9 is still sitting there waiting. No, let's not do that. Let's get rid of that. Let's jump. Let's jump down like we said. And So if they've scanned the card, but they're not pressing the button, then we need to, I think, do the same thing. So let's cut this. Okay. And I will put a sleep up here. And so down here I need if it's not, jump down. And this needs to be moved to X3 instead. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like what we got right there. I'm happy with that. And now if I ask you to move 0, well, no, let's move 5 to X2. If I tell you to do that, and this is supposed to be on both of these addresses, what happens? Just hits the 1. Okay, so I would have to do it twice. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Okay, so you get this information. You are selecting X1. So you're only being woken up if they are not trying to learn a new card. Okay, that's good. That's good. So how do I read both of these cards? Do I have two different chips that read them both? Or can I do it with one? So first thing we have, the card information is coming through here. And we really need to determine if it's real. All right, yeah, I think I'll have a better time at this if I do it with 2 different chips. So let's keep that going. Okay. So you're gonna sleep until this thing wakes you up. I'd like to put a bridge here for sure. But now we've got this situation. Ideal. Maybe I could move it down one. Not really sure how that helped. Don't think it did. Don't think that did help. Alright, so what do I need to do? Alright, let's move that fellow down one. This can move down one. Boop. Like that. Not to do that like that. Dang it. I'm close here. I just need a little more. Could bring the P1 down across this way. That doesn't really help. That's really all I need from this. Yeah, that'll work. Cool. Right there, put a bridge. You're done. That's it. These can be connected, it's fine. Okay, so now, yeah, you're gonna read the user card on that thing. So you wake up and you're getting a reading. So move X1 into the accumulator. Test if the accumulator equals X0. And I'm guessing I will put a test here. And we'll like what? Move 0 to X2. Move 10 to the accumulator, and this will actually change to data. So you're going to move that value into data, test if the first value on this thing matches. If it does not, if it does not equal, then you need to shit. I just realized we have to send the new number forward, which I didn't really consider. So move data to X3. Sub 1. Call that out, I guess. Sub 1. And then you're going to move X1 to X3. See, again we've got issues with these minuses. So let's get rid of those. And we'll call this jump out, I guess. I don't know. No. We'll leave out there. If yes, let's put this down for now. If yes, sub 1 jump test. No, see, again we have to test if the accumulator is equal to 0. That's okay. That's alright. We can do that. Jump test. And we'll put this thing up here. Test the accumulator is equal to 0. If it is, I guess Gen P1 6 0, jump sleep, I suppose, because that means it succeeded. This should be, that should say data. Because if they don't equal, then we move data at x3, subtract 1, move x1 to x3, and here's where we would need to test if the accumulator is equal to 0, and if no, jump out. But we are missing a line here. Well, no, we don't need to move that, do we? Yeah, let's not do that. Let's... Yeah, but if we test it, we're gonna lose it, right? We test it, they're equal, and then we lose it. Yeah, I know that's how it works. This wouldn't work anyway because we've got this move into data here, which that's not what we're doing. So like this needs to, yeah, this is all messed up. What if we pushed it through anyway? Then if we pushed it through anyway, then I don't know how to tell if it was right. I guess we could like add 1, but then we can't sub 1. So that doesn't work. This accumulator is equal to 0. If it's not, move on. You move that thing to data, which is fine. Let's at least look. Alright, yeah, this thing actually does read the card. Okay, we at least got that part working. And we actually got it to unlock. As well. So like you can see the fundamentals are here. Move that to data. Zero, does that equal that? Yeah, it does. Okay, good. Yeah, that's all fine. Like we even get it to unlock. Okay, where does it fail? Right there. So they put this in. Bring in the 9. They test if it's equal to XO. It's not. So now it's wanting to move that value out to this thing, and this thing's not reading it. I could replace this test by just having it jump back up and test, but if any digit matched, like this 1's gonna match, and that's gonna mess it up. That's not gonna send it along to this chip. So, I mean, I feel like what I have to do, as much as I don't like the idea of it, is put another chip up here. I actually think this doesn't have enough. The idea was to store in whatever store this here. And just reset it to 0 and move it back, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, so if it's not learning, it could move this out and send it all here. But then we would need a line to wake this chip up and tell it to start carrying, which I don't think we have. yeah, we could easily store these numbers up here, but we can't wake this thing up. Unless I'm trying to think of how to do this. I mean, we could push it into this chip, and this one could store the stuff, and then go down and wake this guy up, which it could easily do by coming in this way. That's doable, but how do we? I mean, they would probably alternate. Let's just try it and see what happens here. Let's break that connection. Let's create a connection here. No. Create a connection here. Oh, that's PO. Shit. I need to reorganize again. Oh boy. Alright, let me clear this. I might have went one too far with that. That's right there. Okay. Now, P1, you can do that. That's fine. Oop, there. Particularly help, but we did that. That's something we've done. Actually, hold up. Switch that. Put that there. Boom. Okay. Cool. Alright, so now alright, so you still send this out. You select 2 and then you, once you wake up, you're going to move 10 to the accumulator, in. You are going to move X2. Let's go ahead and move 0 to X1 right here. Move X2 to XO. So 1. Test the accumulator 0. If no, jump in. If yes, well, if yes, you're going to move. XO to X3. But we need a little bit more than that. We need we need to be able to send. We need to send it twice, and then we need the sub 1. We need the whole thing again. So we need to put another large chip in here. So let's get a clip of this, and then we're gonna clear all this out, except for this. We'll leave this guy here, but we need let's clear these. I don't know why exactly, but I'll copy that. And then we'll cut it. Cut that. Okay. And then this needs to be that right there. So let's get rid of all the wires. And we have to be able to store all of these chips on this device. Okay, so that one over 1. I think put that there, put that there. Now I'll even boot this here. And then so you are pushing this information there. And then I also want see, I want this. Oop. Stop it. Why am I failing? I want this here, really. But the problem here is I need to now connect this. And I can't exactly do that. So let's clear this out. Let's move a step over. Okay. Move you a step over. Okay, you can do that. You can do that. That's fine. And now you are going to do that. Okay. So this is the one where we're putting the normal stuff on. This is the one that really only needs connected to the other chip, which I guess will be this fellow now. So you'll do that. bring up this clip that I had. Boop. And okay, and then this X3 then had to connect to the other two. Meanwhile, the other two were connecting to him. Well, this one would connect to him. So, big buck. Okay, get those two connections in. And now you connect to send one out. Well, we were sending one out to wake him up, but I don't know that we really need that anymore. So let's say that we don't, if that makes it easy for us. Wow, we did this very, very nicely, and now you got your connection to that. You got your two connections to the thing. You had a connection to this and to that. So receiving this, sending it out. So this was here and here is how we did that. And these two used to be connected together, but I don't know that they really need it anymore. So that is my architecture right now. And I'm actually feeling pretty good about things. So now it's just a matter of writing all of this out. So this is formerly my center chip. And it was a sleep one. Just gonna write it out again the way I had it. Even though I didn't have it right, I want a general idea of where I need to start from. So this is where this part's completely wrong. So sub 1 test negative move that X3, and you're not even connected to X3 anymore. But like I said, just want a general idea of how close we are before I make any move. So boop. Okay. This is the one I think is really important. So you're going to select 2. You are going to move 0 to X1. X1 is not right. Move it there. Do 10 to ACC. In. Move X2 to X1, sub 1, just as the commutator is 0. If no, jump in. If yes, move X1 to X3, and I think I want to do that twice so that both chips wake up. Move X1 to X3, and we probably go ahead and do like an out thing. get rid of that. And yeah, I think we want to do 10 to ACC again. And then out here, move it out twice. Sub 1. Test of ACC is equal to 0. If no, jump out. I think that's what we want to do. So that is storing. What is? Oh, this was a test equal, but like I said, that's not. We're not actually going to do it that way. So right now, this thing reads the card. If they're holding down the learn button, we're going to store that information up here. If they are not, we're going to wake this chip up and send the information of the card they just read to here, and then move that information out to, hopefully, to these two chips alternating. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but that's my idea. So I think I can clear these, by the by, because they're not going to wake up unless the card has been read. So you need to. Alright, so you're reading. You're actually going to select 2. Boop, that's fine. While you selects 1. And so you are going to move 0 to x1. Move 10 to the accumulator. And then I just had an issue. This is gonna jam with the way I'm thinking about doing it. Because my idea was to just alright, I've got an idea. I just don't know exactly how to make it happen. So instead of you moving the whole thing out, just wake this guy up. So like move 10 to x3, and like that's it. Okay. Like that's it. So let's cut you. And then bring in an expert here. these have to change now. Okay. Alright. So that's good. The problem right now is like we need to completely restructure the architecture. So let's think about how we're going to do that. I'm going to have you switch these two for starters. So every x2 needs to be an x3 and every x3 needs to be an x2. So that's number one. Number two, maybe we can stick this guy up here somewhere. So you're going to relax. Okay. What do we need to do? I mean, both of these need to be able to access the data on this thing. So you're already reading this guy twice. So like we're looking at no, can't do that. You can do that, which is, you know, okay. But this guy needs to. How is this guy reading this and also waking this guy up? And if they both want to read from this thing, how would they do that? I think I might actually be able to solve that one. So all we really need Oh, this is waking him up. Like that? It's probably not going to work out for me. Okay, so you're flexing one. Is that what you're doing? I guess so. So you're gonna flex one. You're gonna move the 0 out to x2. 10 in your accumulator. You're gonna move x1 to x3. You're gonna do all that, and then finally 10 to xo. Alright, so that's done. You could do it twice to wake them both up. Sure. Do it twice to wake them both up. Now, you are sleeping until x3 wakes you up now, I guess. x3 wakes you up. Move x3 to the accumulator. And then you're going to move 0 to... because you're going to start reading them. I think let's make these zeros. Okay, so move move x0 in the accumulator. Okay, now we're going to now test, I suppose, and in order to test, we are going to move the accumulator to x1. I mean, this right now, this card's not reading off of this card. Can I do that? I guess. Sure, x3. Okay, so you're gonna move ACC to x1. ACC to x3. Test if equal x1, x3. If yes, add 1. Let's put this up here. Test of your accumulator is equal to 10. If yes, Gen P160 and jump, sleep. If no, okay, add 1. I guess Chest, I suppose. Jump test. If not, jump sleep. That's fine. Okay. And you should be doing pretty much the same thing, except that you are going to sleep until XO wakes you up. So, okay, you're going to do that. Then you're going to do this and this. Okay, you're going to move your accumulator to X3. And XO, I guess? Oh man, this is going to get so fucking wild. And test if XO is equal to X3. I think we need a move ACC to X1 and X3. That needs to be, no, that is. This is your data. No. You need to be X2 here instead of X1. Okay. That's your address. You're comparing this card and this card. You need so confused. Yeah, you need to know if X1 is equal to X2, I think. Because that's right here's your data, and here's your data. That's X2, that's X1. But you need to be moving it to XO and X3, which is your addresses. I think. Oops. Why we instantly... Fuck. Yeah, that's a problem. Because you need to be doing that. But then how do we reset this address? I don't know the answer to that. So let's do another little screen grab here, and let's forget about this. See what that does for us. The same thing. We're still getting well, that's actually supposed to be X2, so that's just a mistake right there. Okay, so you didn't unlock. Why not? You put the storage information right there. Store all that on there. I'm happy for you. Okay, we get the 8. Now you wake that guy up. He brings that information in. It's not a 10, so then he moves the accelerator X1. What? I don't think you really need to do that, but Is x1 equal to x2? And they're saying no. Why not? Why weren't those equal? As far as I'm seeing, we click through all this. 0, 8. Okay. Now this one wakes up. These should be equal. Like we got 9 and we got 9 right here. Why are they not equal? Okay, well, I guess we'll move x1 to data and test if data is equal to x2. Let's try that. Nope, still not happening. What the fuck is going on here? Okay, yeah, I know, you gotta put all that stuff in there. Okay. You do all this, you move that in. Move x1 to data, we got a 0? What? Why? I think so. Okay. Yep, had them backwards. This is supposed to be 1, 2, 3, XO. Alright, let's try now. Still failed. Okay, Okay, next one, that's fine. Are these equal? Yes, they are. Add 1. Test. Yeah, because this chip is fucking with it. Yeah, we do need to be able to. We need to be able to fix the address on this thing. You know, I mean, I hate to say it, but the solution here is most likely make this chip bigger and have it send the information to 2 separate chips. So, alright, I am going to cut this right here, and I'm just going to take just a little walk, clear my head a bit, and we'll come back and hopefully finish this out. Alright, I am back. Before I left, I said I was going to try to stick another card in here. And change this card to that, which is, yeah, it's a bit of a big ask, and I understand that. you're not going to do that. You are going to... Well, you're just going to do that, I guess. Maybe. This is the card that can open it. And these two in the corner can open it. We need these two to both come from here. So, how am I going to do that? Good question. Good question. You are really asking the tough ones today. Flip it to this card can open it, but I don't really see how that helps. Before I mess up, let's just go ahead and put that right there. And this was set up like that. But now I want this to also connect to this. Not really seeing a realistic way to do that. So let me this is already, yeah, alright, that's already up to date. So let's cut that, and I mean, this doesn't, like, I could move this down here, but I don't know how it helps. Could cut this like this, and that's about it. That's about all I can do. I mean, now I can do this, but doesn't really help. Do I need this chip? You are... Alright, let's reset this, just so we don't get ourselves confused. So if they're reading a new card, we do this, but Well, we could have it where it just stores the card here. So, like, this chip could very easily just store the card here. But it doesn't wake up the other cards. And it doesn't have an extra line to reset this card. So that doesn't quite work. So we have almost no options. We wake this guy up. And like we could double up. Unless I do that, connect those fuckers. Where's 2 and 3? So switch that to a 2. Switch this to a 3. Okay. So now you're gonna select so. Like that, and here, and here. That lets you write it to both cards, but that doesn't let the other cards read from you, so that doesn't really help. So let's you would kind of need to be you can probably tip that over. I mean, this doesn't work, but it's close enough to working that I feel like it's worth trying. Oh, okay. So let's forget about that. I'm a bit stumped right now, honestly. I just feel like I don't have enough connections on these cards to do what I want. So, let's mess around with this thing again. Let's get rid of this. Go away, go away. Go away. Okay, so so you do that. You move x2 to x3. Okay, forget about this for now. And just, these are all simple though. So, move it to P1. And let's just see what happens here. It. That doesn't do much of anything. Not really sure. Not really sure what they want from me. Okay. I think one place I'm maybe struggling is fixing the address on this thing. I wanted it reset to 0 because if I stop this chip early, then it's not going to read the whole way through. So, I mean, right now, you can store the card right there perfectly. It does all this stuff. It's very nice. And then it even, once it's done, it even resets to start at the beginning next time, and it goes to sleep. And that's awesome. That is awesome. So, what is the problem? Here's an idea. Here's an idea. Here's an idea. What if, because this chip like never accepts this reading. What if, get out of there. I just need some space here. So you do that, and then we'll have you X1. Okay, so all these O's need to switch to 1s. And that needs to switch to an O. Okay. And you are sending this to Move this card down one. Get rid of that. That's data. That's that. Okay. Now, this got a bit sloppy. Let's rework this. Let's rework this. We don't have to. This doesn't have to look this bad. Okay, so sit here, do that, do that. Push you back one. Yeah, that should work fine. Okay, so do that. Do that. Do that. Okay. So, sleep until X1 tells you to do something. If you're reading the card, move X1 to X0, that's good. And then you're going to move 0 to X3. However, and we might be rearranging, no, maybe. No. No. Yeah, okay. I thought maybe we could use a smaller chip here, but we cannot. So, if it is not reading the card, because we never store the information on board, so if it's not reading the card, get rid of this. We don't need this. So if no, jump sleep. So your job is solely to put that information here. So this key will unlock it, this key will unlock it. If it's not learning, this card just goes back to sleep. It doesn't read this, so this number is still sitting there, waiting to be read. So, the question here, if you select 1 and then let's say move this one against this one. Alright, so if you do that, they do both wake up, so that's okay. That's fine. We can still work with that. All we need to do is connect these two. If it's not being pressed, don't jump to sleep. Move 10 to X2. You can select so, and then move X to the accumulator, and that's it. So now you're awake, and you've got 10 in the accumulator. So now it's time to start testing. The problem is we can't test without losing the information. So that's maybe okay. Maybe. We need two connections to this, which probably means trouble, but okay, let's this is the sort of trouble we were having before, where I want more connections than I have. Could I? No. No. Okay. This thing could do it. If I made the decision to we only need 2 bridges. Not getting nuts here. And so if I did that and had you connect here, this guy could reset that. Could. Okay, so it would be at the top. You would have to move 0 to XO, and then SLEX 1. That's how that would have to work. Okay. So now, how do we test? We're moving in the value to the ACC. That's fine. So we got the 10 there. So now, we should just be able to test. Test if accumulator is equal to 0. If yes, gen P1 6 by 0 and jump sleep, I think, is what we want to do there. And now I've realized I have to get this working, but this shouldn't be too hard. Bang. Okay, just like that. If it's not 0, and we do need to put a tester here, I think. If it's not 0, test if x1 is equal to x3. The problem is it starts with a 9. And we're going to lose that 9. So I think we have to go through the process regardless. So we need to move x1 to data. Test if equal. Is data equal to x3? If yes, jump test. If no, we'll call this failed. I think it's if yes sub 1. And if it failed, then we sub 1. No. Test the ACC 0. If yes, jump to sleep. If no, sub 1. Move x1 to x2. that's not quite right. Because we moved x1 into data and then we tested it. So if it failed, we need to sub 1. Move data to x2. Move x1 to data. I think that would work, but we're not moving data forward here if it succeeds. x1 to data, test if it's equal. If it's not equal, we just keep going. So here, you know, it's right, this 9 is right, but we never moved that forward. So we need success or failure. We need to make that maneuver, and I'm not sure how. Well, right here, get rid of this jump sleep and put all minuses on these. Except we also don't have a jump fail. So that was a couple of different failures we had. That would, you know, that'll work for now, but again, it's not sending any successful 9s across to this chip. How many times in this playthrough have I got myself in a situation where one more line would solve the puzzle? we're in this situation where we can't, like we could add another chip, but now, you know, we don't have the connections to keep adding them. So wait a minute. Well, no, we need the 10. I was gonna say maybe we don't need to put the 10 on board, but we actually do need that 10 here to do the count. Tested at 0. It's not gonna be 0, of course. Sub 1 jump test. I could almost get rid of this jump test, but this guy would have to keep waking this fellow up. Which maybe we could do. I mean, we've got lines here. So if this fails, yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. If this fails, if they're not pressing the button, jump word, and down here, if yes, reset that, and I guess we'll add a jump sleep here, and then word down here, and so we are going to we've already put our 10 in ACC, and then we're testing this, we're saying it's not on, so we are going to move ACC to X2, sub 1, test if ACC is equal to 0, if no, jump word, and that's what we're going to keep doing there. And so now we can get rid of this jump test. We might even be able to get rid of these sub 1s, I'm not sure. Yeah, we might actually be in trouble now. Now that we've done that. Because now this thing wakes up. Yeah, I think let's get rid of jump test here. Let's move test up 1. I feel like now I would need to add a move exo into accumulator here. Oh yeah, because I can get rid of this sub, yeah. I forgot. Yeah, if yes, we'll even keep that. If yes, jump test, because this thing's doing the subbing for us, and here we can clear that, move exo to ACC, and so all we need, we move this number in, we test if it's 0, it's not, we move this into data, and then we move data out. Alright. Now I'm pleased with that. Now I think we're okay with that. You reset this chip. I feel like this is going to be very similar, actually. Except you're not really taking in a reading, are you? No, you are. You're taking in a reading. So, whoop. Copy this for the moment. Well, no, let's not copy it. I was gonna copy it, but I don't think that's right. So what do we do? As soon as it fails, it has no chance of hitting this, so that's good. This might be a problem if it fails on the last digit. I'm not sure. We'll find out, I suppose. So you clear the address on this, then you sleep until that thing sends you something. This thing is sending you the first value, so you need to move x1 to data. And I guess, I don't know. Add move 10 to the accumulator, I suppose. Move x1 to data. We really don't even need this fucking chip. We really don't need that chip. And I feel pretty stupid for including it. So that is equal to 9. If it is sub 1, and jump test, I suppose, and test would be here. Set the accumulator is equal to 0. If it is, then P160 jumps. And sleep is right there. Okay, if it's not equal to 9, you have failed. And do you need to keep doing things? You probably do, because you're going to keep receiving things. So you see if it's 0. Test if the accumulator is equal to 0. If yes, jump. Well, no, we can just do if not. Move x1 to data. So 1, jump fail. So you get the card reading, you send it in. These are still equal, so we keep testing. Sub to 1, and it is 0. Move that out, and it's not giving you the information. So change that to less than, and that should fix it. Nope. Doesn't fix this. Okay. Well, let's see what happened here. It's okay, we can fix this. This is how we do it. Da-da-da. Okay, you do da-da-da-da. This is all good. It's still succeeding. We get the 5, 3, 2. Jumping to test. There goes the 8. Is the 8 equal to that? Go to test. Bring in a 0. It is 0. So you're doing that. But you're looking for something. Alright, I'm just trying to understand exactly what's happening here. So let's get this down to about 2 cycles to go. Okay. So you move that data out. Okay, we're still waiting for the 8. Jump to test. This guy's 0. So you're moving the 8 in. Move the 8 out. You test if they're equal. They are. This one has failed. Move this out. That's interesting. This thing doesn't have anything more to send. but this one's still waiting for one. Okay, so you get the 10. Okay, you get the first digit, second digit, subtract. You're in fail now. But you didn't subtract. So, I think if we just cut that out and put it there, like that, that should fix that. There we go. There we go. Keep going. Oh, you got it, baby. Ha 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 ha, yes. Wonderful. Alright, we did it. I think it was about an hour and a half for the first bit. And we are at about 6 minutes shy of an hour here. So this is about 2.5 hours full effort. And we have done it though. So I'm very happy with myself. And let's do the talk through. So, first things first. This chip is responsible for the math on this chip, as far as how many more cycles it needs to do. And if they're inputting a new card number, storing that information up here. That is this chip's job. So it will sleep until the card reader tells it something. Okay? So as soon as the card reader says something, alright, we've got to wake up. We're going to put 10 in the accumulator because we need to count. We need to do the 10 digits. Is the button being pressed? If it is, okay, we're getting a new card and we need to put it up here. So, we put that value up. Well, we bring it in and push it straight through. We take one away from the accumulator. See if it's 0. If it's 0, it's time to stop. It's not 0, so we'll jump back. We'll read. We'll put the next value through. Take one away. And again, see if it's time to stop. Keep doing that for every digit until we do finally get to 0. Okay, it's time to stop. So we will send a 0 out here to reset this arrow to the top. So if we need to write again, we're going to write from the start. So we send that out, resets that arrow, and it goes back to sleep. And that is it. That's that thing's job for learning. However, if we are reading but they're not programming it, then we do something else. So we wake up, we put 10 in the accumulator, we test the button being pressed. The button is not, so we're going to jump to what I called weird because I couldn't think of a name for it. So we jump the whole way down to the bottom of this chip, and we are going to move this accumulator. We are just counting this. We're counting for this chip. So we're going to move that value, that 10 that we put in, we're going to move it over to this chip. So it has a 10. And then we're going to subtract 1, see if it's less than 0, because we still need to send the 0. And if it's not, we're going to jump back up and do it again. If it is, we're going to just go to sleep. So we send that 10 through, it takes the 10, it sees if it's 0. It realizes it's not, so it goes through its cycles, while this guy just sends it through, takes 1 away, sees if we're less than 0. If not, send another one through. Okay, that is this whole chip's job. Move the 5 out, take 1 away. Is it less than 0? Nope. So move the 4 out. Okay, that's its whole job. This chip sleeps until a card is being read but not programmed. And this one just has a little, we're going to reset the reading arrow on this and then sleep until we're told otherwise. So those guys just sleep in there, no problem. Alright, so this 9 is sitting here. This card never takes the card reader on board. It never moves it into data or accumulator or whatever. It will push it straight through if it needs to store it here. But otherwise, it doesn't take this. So this 9 is just sitting there waiting. And this, it's like, okay, I'm not reading that. I don't want it. But you need your 10. So I'm going to send you the 10. That wakes it up. It brings in the 10. It tests if it's 0. It's not. So now my job, I know that the card is waiting to be read because we're not at 0. If the accumulator were at 0, that means there's nothing to read because we're subtracting 1 each cycle. So we know the card's waiting, so we take that 9 and then we actually push it out to this card too. So that will wake it up. It's going to put a 10 in on itself and see if it's time. It's not time to shut off. So, okay, I know there's something waiting. So it's going to do that. It's going to take that 9. Meanwhile, we're going to test if the 9 that we just took is equal to the first digit here. And the reason this arrow is on the first digit is because this card put it there. So is that equal? It actually is, yes. So jump back up and test the next digit. So now we're jumped up to the top again, and we're going to take this 9, which is this card just doing the work of subbing each. We take 1 away, and it sits there waiting for this card to start the next cycle. So this is keeping track of how many cycles this card needs to do, which was the breakthrough that got this done for us. So it takes that 9 in there. It's not time to shut off yet. So okay, I'll take the next digit. Takes that 0. Sends the 0 through. Is it equal to the second digit here? Yes, it is. Jump back to test. And that's all this card's going to do until this is actually right. So it's just going to keep cycling through until we get to the 0. And it's like, all right, we got the whole way to 0. We're still in the test half of this chip. So that means it's right, and we need to unlock the door. So it sends the unlock signal, and it keeps it on for 6 cycles. And it turns itself off and goes back to sleep. Meanwhile, let's actually just move to the next thing. So they read a new card number, and then they try to unlock it here. So let's look at what we do. So, alright, I need to wake up. Here's a 9. We push the 9 forward to this chip. And then this chip's like, alright, I'll take that 9. And now we're going to test here. Is the 9 equal to the first number here? It's not, so it's going to jump to fail. And on the fail half of the chip, all it's going to do is bring this in, see if it's time to shut off. If it's not, send this value out. Move a new value in, and then go back to fail and move this next in. So it's right now, when it gets to fail, it's taking the count from this chip and just sending the card information straight through. Well, not straight through, it's storing it in data and then sending it, but it's sending the card information to this chip. I know I've failed, but you might still succeed, so send the card information there and keep count using this information, okay? So now let's look at this card, which fails here. So it knows to wake up eventually, alright, puts 10 in there, because it knows, the card is 10 digits long. Is it time to shut off? Nope. Bring in the value. Is it equal to 9? Because the master lock, this is just for master lock, that is 10 9s in a row. That's the master lock. So is it equal to 9? If it is, subtract 1 and jump back and test the next digit. Is it time to shut off? Nope. Is it, well, let's move to the next digit. Is it equal to 9? No. So this card is now failed. If it were yes, it would just keep cycling through the test until the accumulator finally got to 0, and then it would send the unlock code, like this one you already saw it do. But since it's failed, it's going to take one away, see if it's time to shut off. It's not. So it's just going to take the next reading from this card so it doesn't jam. And this card is still going to keep sending it through. It's going to take that reading, and then it's just going to jump to fail, take another one out. It's not even testing anything anymore, just seeing if it's time to turn off or not. So it doesn't care what the digits are, it's just taking them because it knows this chip wants to give them. That's all that's going on, and eventually it'll get down to 0, and this is the last thing I want to show. Once it finally gets to 0, here on fail, if it got to 0 here, it would send the unlock code, jump up to sleep. But here on fail, it's not sending any unlock code, it is 0, so it's going to skip these two negatives, and this negative was catching it and telling it to go back up. But since it's skipping these, it's going to go to the top of the order, which is sleep, and it's now going to move a 0 out to reset this arrow, so that for the next time, this card will start reading from the top again. And it's back to sleep. And that is it, and that seems to be working perfectly. I did say that maybe if the last digit was the only wrong digit, we might have trouble. We'll see if any verification has that happen. Nope, it passed. So either they didn't test that, or it didn't fail. And I don't know the answer. We got power usage down from the normal, or the average, but production cost is up, and lines of code is way up. So that's interesting. But you know, like I said, I don't particularly care about those things. It's just a matter of getting it done, and that is exactly what we have done. Carl says this is the least secure security solution I've ever seen, and I've worked on voting machines. If you ever stay in a sleep cubes, bring your own lock. Alright. What do you got, Tilly? So I've talked about the scale of things here, the capacity in all of these factories and ports and markets, and I've asked, where's all this, going? Not to get all existential on you, but it's an important issue, and one that tends to crop up after big economic strides. In some sense, yay, we did it. But after a lot of hard... Okay, she just typoed. After a lot of hard work and sacrifices, we've secured a hugely important piece of the world. So now what? Call me some kind of nutter, but engines of creation like these, the ones we have here, just haven't existed before at this scale. It's only now dawning on us what could be done with them if we started coordinating them all. What if someone with some imagination were to start doing that? Putting the whole city to work on something together. What could you build that way? Something gigantic and amazing, or something gigantic and scary. Maybe a bit of both. Let's ponder on that one for a bit. Alright, we will, Tilly. We will absolutely ponder on that. But we will ponder on that next time. And I did notice, by the by, we finished Security Nightmare. We did not get any more emails. This is it. We are at the bottom here. 4 to go.